palm reading of a 38-year-old male. We would be reading his particular hand, but before we start, the one important point I want to mention is press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can email me. These are the phone number and the email that are mentioned out here on the computer screen. In palm reading, everybody wants to know about success. Everybody basically they want to know about how much successful they are going to be. To see success, we have to look at a very important area, and that area is the mount of Mercury. And it is the area for your skills. It is the area of the calculations, the communication part. So we have to first take a look at the most important area. This is basically the area that we are referring to. You would notice that there are perpendicular lines, very strong and deep and perpendicular lines. These lines are not dim lines. These lines are not weak lines. These are very strong kind of lines. Many people do have these very thin kind of lines which are barely visible. Thin lines are of no use. When the lines are extremely thin, they are of no use because they do not give strength to a particular line. So strong lines give strength, and because this is the area of your skills, so stronger the line, the better it is considered to be. It basically signifies that the person has got good set of skills, and skills can be of variety of things. It could be just communication skills, it could be mathematical, it could be engineering, it could be statistical, it could be economics, biology, chemistry, physics, anything. It could be anything to do with the skill, even writing skills, or even journalism or even law. So this area has to be good in order to be successful. We at present time we are living in an Aquarian age. Aquarian age is for Aquarius, Mercury is the most important planet, and Aquarian is basically the communicator. So this area in today's times should be good. This area is also for computers. This is also for the networking, the human to human networking as well as computer networking. For both these things, this area should be good. So how do we take a look? Already I have explained to you, strong lines are there, strong perpendicular lines. So this is a positive sign. See, I would also explain to you what negative lines a person can have. One more thing I need to add out here is that see, some people do have crisscrossing kind of lines. These lines are not present out here, but yet I'm trying to explain to you. If a person has got crisscrossing lines over the mount of Mercury, the person is going to miscalculate and miscommunicate. Both those signs are extremely bad kind of signs. So it's good that the person doesn't have these kind of negative kind of signs, and it is not that these lines would give result only and only after you grow up. These lines give result even when the person is young, and when the person is right from the early childhood, right from the first standard, or even before the first standard, the first class the person enters into. So his way of communicating is perfect. Now you would also notice one important point is that you would notice we are taking a look at the left hand, and this person is a male. One question arises, what hand should we refer for a male, left hand or right hand? See, both hands are important hands. It is said that we should take a look at the left hand of the female and the right hand of the male. It is not necessary, something like this. Even in today's times, I basically give more importance to the right hand, even in females. And the other part is people think that both their hands are completely different. It is a folly, it is a mistake. It is not like that. Both hands need to be considered to come to a conclusion. So left hand has got its importance, and there are lots and lots of similarities in both the hands of almost everybody, not just this particular person, but almost everybody. They have similar kind of lines. So don't think that I was just reading the left hand. I would be also taking a look at the right hand. So let's take the similar look about the Mercury area. The Mercury area, you would notice this is the Mercury area, the little finger. Mercury is the smallest planet, and smallest planet has the smallest finger. You would notice this is the smallest finger. The fourth finger is the smallest finger, and these perpendicular lines are similar as we saw in the left hand. So I would not elaborate about this particular aspect in on the right hand. It's totally same. Now let's take a look at the other important aspects of the palm. We would take a look now at the line of head. Now let us take a look at the headline, and what you would be seeing in this thing is that there's an upward line pointing towards the fingers from the headline, moving upward, and it is an excellent sign for success. Just at the intersection of the head and the fate line, you would notice this particular upward line just before that. So I'm just removing this particular slide and you would notice what it is. So this is the line of head, and this is the intersection of the head and the money line. So this is the money line going towards the Saturn mount, and this point is age 35. So just before this portion of the headline is before the age of 35. This portion is before the age of after the age of 35 on the headline, and this portion is on the money line. This portion is before the age of 35, and this portion is 35 to 53, and the last portion is after beyond the age of 53. So I'm just going to remove all these things so that you can actually see the lines. So the line is coming and there is an upward swing pointing towards the mount of Mercury. So it's happening just before the intersection, just before the age of 35. This upward lines is a very good line. It basically means success coming to this particular person. Upward lines are basically lines for success. It kind of elevates. What it is elevating? It is elevating the mind. And elevation of mind is only going to happen when some success is happening, some joy is coming to this particular person. Although this is the area for the Mercury, and Mercury is for skills, it could be writing. In palmistry books, if you just go through the palmistry books, you would notice that this particular line is called the line of writing skills, authors. So in real case scenario, I have found that not necessarily the person might be author, but it could mean some technical education or something the person does that basically benefits this particular person. So one line is upward out here, and there's another line probably in the earlier portion also that is also pointing upward, pointing towards the finger. All these lines are considered to be extremely good lines on the palm. A little bit negative line that we see on the headline beyond the age of 35, somewhere at a very late stage. This is the headline, and a line from the area of mount of Mars. Mars is a red planet. Red means anger, aggression, and fire. And a line that is coming horizontal and touching the lifeline or any other line, like somewhere around the age of probably 65 or so. The line from the mount of Mars is coming and touching the headline. So some amount of trouble might come about somewhere at that particular age, but that's a very late age. So we don't need to talk about that because that comes at a very late stage. And even if we take a look at that particular problem, whatever it may arise, it is not damaging the line as such. So the problem might come, the person might suffer a few things, but still the person is not going to be affected much by that particular problem, and the person may have those mental problems, issues, but it's not going to affect him for a very long time. Now let us take a look at the most important line that people think that it is a very important line, the fate line, the money line. Notice on this particular person's hand that there's a line of fate is breaking just as it touches the headline. At this point, the intersection of the head and the fate line, the age is 35, both on the fate as well as money line. The name is similar, fate and money is same, and the headline. There are mainly three reasons for this particular break. There's a spelling mistake of mainly, so apologize for that particular mistake, but let's move forward with what it basically means. So the break is happening. See, the fate line is moving towards, this is the normal path, but when it breaks somewhere out here at this intersection, the age is 35. So many changes might have come about in this particular person's life somewhere at the age of 35. The main fate line is ending somewhere out here and a new one is developing somewhere out here. So many changes, the whole life might have turned upside down. Some major changes might have taken place. So when the fate line is breaking on the headline, 2 or 3 things might apply. The first thing could be job loss or work loss. This could be just one possibility. The second could be the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth gets affected. That's a reason why more responsibilities are going to fall on this particular person's head. The third could be sometimes a break in the line of fate could also signify problems in one's relationship. So one of the aspect might apply, not necessarily all the aspects, but one of them, these aspects can apply. So even after the age of 35, if you would ask me how things are going to be after the age of 35, probably they could be extremely good because the line is stable, and this line basically touches the line of heart and it again vanishes. So somewhere close to the age of 53, again few major changes might take place. So so in that way I would say it is good beyond the age of 53. Let's talk about beyond the age of 53. So the fate line is coming. There's another line, very dim kind of a line that is kind of creeping, and that after it crosses the heartline, then it becomes basically strong. And you'd also notice that there's a V or a Y like formation out here. It's pointing it towards the Jupiter side as well as the Saturn side. So V or a Y pointing towards the fingers is always a good indication. Why we say it's a good indication? Because and the explanation normally I give is that imagine there's a V or a Y. Don't correlate V to victory. See, we are not trying to search for a letter, a English letter on your palm. We are just looking at few signs and we have to give reasons to what we are basically saying. So imagine some light or energies is penetrating the fingers. As they enter the palm, they enter your life, and they basically get accumulated somewhere out here. So wherever you find a V or a Y, it is a beautiful sign. It signifies that this particular period is going to be extremely productive in this particular person's life. So it's a beautiful sign. Now this V or a Y can be even at an earlier stage. The stage could be, imagine this is the lifeline and there's an upward line. So again you would notice that the V or a Y is getting formed, and wherever this line targets, it doesn't have to reach the mount, but even if it targets upward towards the finger, again it is considered to be a good sign. This upward line is considered to be a luck line. Now people, one more thing I need to add out here is that generally people want to know, are they going to be lucky? This question regarding if they are going to be lucky is something I say that you don't need to be necessarily lucky. You need to have the skill set. Only then you're going to be successful. So the most important aspect of this particular palm is an excellent area of Mercury. Mercury is not money, but Mercury helps in earning the money. So the area for money is only and only Saturn. Saturn is for money, possessions and wealth. And it is the area for wisdom. It is the area for being grounded. So all those areas are in a reasonably good because there are less lines out here, and there are positive signs of V or a Y like formation. And the V or a Y pointing towards the mount of Jupiter is kind of giving. See, Saturn is purely for money, but if the energies penetrate and enter the finger and enter and come somewhere accumulate out here, so these are political area. This is the area of politics. This is the area of administration. This is the area of spirituality also. This is the area for administration, religion, politics, honor, higher position. So it's going to be a combination. So during that particular portion of one's life, somewhere close to the age of 60, 62, that's when the person's benefits might come from the political side, from the administration side, or probably from the religion side. It could be a mix of one or both these things. One more thing I need to add out here is let's talk about the heart line. Let's take a look at the heartline. Heartline is for relationship, it is for love, it is for emotions, sensitivity. But I have tried to go far away from the book and try to reinvent palmistry, and I take a look at the heartline from the point of view of the profession. And so it gives remarkable results. That's the reason I've been using it repeatedly. So we will be taking a look at the heartline from the point of view of profession as well. So here we have the right hand, but first I'm going to take a look at the left hand. See, the heartline plays a major role in a success or failure. The heartline that is simple gives better result. Out here you would notice that the heartline is reaching somewhere close to the mount of Jupiter. The mount of Jupiter is for sensitivity, it is for emotions. This area is for the person who is extremely emotional by nature, and the person who's going to be more emotional is also likely to get hurt more easily. So this is one aspect. So, and to look for money on the heartline, we just have to look if the heartline just ends somewhere close to the mount of Saturn. That is considered to be a better sign for money than it reaching a little bit further on the mount of Jupiter. Jupiter is not for money, it is the Saturn that is for money. So where the person heart is angling, the person's heart is angling, the person's emotions are angling towards the idealism side. See, we can be idealistic, but idealism doesn't give everything. The person might think that everybody should have a car, everybody should have everything in life, but that's not possible. You have to be realistic. So realism comes from Saturn and idealism comes from Jupiter. So a long heartline signifies that when there is a possibility also to earn money, the person may lose the opportunity because of emotional sensitivity. So this is one way of looking at it. Now just let's take a look at the right hand. So this is the right hand, and you would notice that comparatively the heartline is kind of somewhere ending on the mount of Saturn. It is going a little bit further, but not purely on the mount of Jupiter. So that's the reason why we would say that the person is kind of angling towards money. That's the reason why the person is likely to make good amount of money. In a reasonable way, the heartline is deep and clear without any too many branches hanging downwards towards the head, and those would have been negative. But less lines over the mount of heart means the person is focused. So focus brings success. In Hindi we say samarpan bhav. Samarpan bhav is dedicating yourselves. A person who is dedicating their life to a single cause is also likely to get benefit. Many people, they have these broken kind of lines. So broken kind of heart lines are extremely bad indications for one's work life as well as relationship. The person is going to be basically jumping from one relation to the other or one job to the other, but we don't find that particular indication out here. We see a very simple kind of a line with minor branches. There are very minor branches, but those minor branches do not carry much weight because they are extremely weak by nature. In the initial part of the heartline, you would notice that there are few branches. It is said that at the start, if there are branches, so the person is extremely popular with the kids, and the kids basically get attracted to this particular person. So in that way, it is good. The person is going to be extremely loving. Now let us take at the last aspect that I would be discussing on this particular hand, and that is the mount of Venus. So the area that we will be looking at is the mount of Venus. Venus is the area for love, grace, beauty, vitality, energy, stamina. All these things are depicted by the mount of Venus. This is generally people who don't know palmistry, they think that the Venus area is just for your sex life, but I would say that it is more than that. It is even your work life can be seen on the mount of Venus, and if a person's mount of Venus is not good, the chances for success decrease tremendously. So we will be taking a look at the Venus mount. The area of the mount of Venus, you would notice that it appears to be quite prominent. It is appearing to be well padded. It is not overly padded. It is not underly padded. It is more than medium level. So when a person does have a prominent well padded area of mount of Venus, it signifies that the person has got huge amount of desires, and those desires are lasting desires. Those desires are not dipping as the person is growing older. Those desires are similar to what the person had when the person was young. So a person who has great amount of desires, and desires can be of any kind. Desires can be sexual, desire for money, desires for possession, desire for good food, desire for good house. So a person who desires more is also likely to make good amount of success. See, Venus doesn't guarantee success. Like Mercury is for skill, Venus is for energy and stamina. So it doesn't guarantee success. A person with a very good amount of Venus might fail 100 times, but the person still have the energies to try out once more time. So in spite of failures, the person still has those positive energies within them to rebound back. So that's the reason why we say that Venus is a very, very important planet. So, and it gives those positive energies, and it is for also good health as well as positive energies as well, and the warmth within this particular person. Warmth, when a person's Venus is prominent, the person is also going to be extremely warm and cordial, and the person is also going to make many relationships because of the warmth within this particular person, and many relationships as well. So it's not overdone, like it's not overly developed, because then it would be sensuality and too much of sexuality, but it is reasonably well developed that would take the person throughout. The person would have good amount of energies throughout their life. So this is what we saw on this particular person's hand. So I would just end this particular video, but before I end this particular video, I would repeat few things that I repeat in almost all my videos. That is, we can come to know about money from almost any line: the heart line, the headline, life, sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. The importance of money line in terms of how much money we will make in our life is just 15%. So it's a combination of Mercury, Venus, Mount, every possible aspect on your palm would tell something or the other regarding the success or failure. A saint once said, you do not need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is the result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. Sometimes our hand is perfect, but if we are in the bad company, it's going to take us in a completely negative direction. And even if our hand lacks hundreds of things, and if we are in a very good company, every negative aspect of your palm is going to get negated. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care. Do subscribe and do ask your questions down below in the question answer section. Thanks for watching. Bye. Take care.